Hello, and welcome to the 24th episode of LGBTQIA+, Heroes, Icons, Legends, and Events. This series of programs covers a wide variety of topics, such as American chef and cookbook author James Beard, entertainer Freddie Mercury, and politician and activist Harvey Milk. Several historical events took place in the state of Georgia in the year 1886. Ebenezer Baptist Church was founded in the state capital of Atlanta. The city of Atlanta and Fulton County passed prohibition legislation making the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages illegal. In response to the prohibition laws, pharmacist and Georgia native John Pemberton invented and marketed the soft drink we now know as Coca-Cola, and the mother of the blues was born in Columbus, Georgia. In honor of Black History Month, today's episode discusses the life and career of singer-songwriter, entertainer, and influential recording artist Gertrude "Ma" Rainey. Gertrude Melissa Nix Pridgett was born on April 26, 1886, in Columbus, Georgia. Gertrude was one of 5 children born to Thomas and Ella Pridgett. Her parents sang in minstrel shows. Gertrude showed musical talent as a young girl. She had a big, deep-throated singing voice, which was unusual in a girl her age. Gertrude got her start singing in her church choir. She began performing for audiences around the age of 14 when she debuted with the A Bunch of Blackberries Revue at the Springer Opera House in Columbus. She also traveled with touring vaudeville acts. Gertrude met entertainer Will "Pa" Rainey on the tour circuit, and they married in 1904 when Gertrude was 18 years old. By default, she became Ma Rainey. They toured with other African-American vaudeville and minstrel groups, such as Fat Chappelle's Rabbitfoot Minstrels. Minstrel shows were the best opportunities for Black entertainers to work and make a living. In 1912, the Raineys met singer Bessie Smith, who was hired as a backup singer and dancer. Ma was a powerful influence on the young singer. Later, the Raineys billed themselves as Rainey and Rainey, Assassinators of the Blues, and toured with Tolliver's Circus and Musical Extravaganza. Ma and Pa Rainey separated in 1916 after 12 years of marriage. She created her own show, the Madam Gertrude Ma Rainey and her Georgia Smart Sets. Ma Rainey was a very noticeable and popular presence on stage. Her singing voice was described as moaning, making it perfect for singing the blues. She wore elaborate wigs, exaggerated makeup, and flashy clothing and gold jewelry, and she carried an ostrich plume as she sang. She also wore gold caps on her teeth in the style of a modern grill. Ma knew how to make an entrance. She was wheeled on stage inside a giant prop phonograph. A chorus girl would put a vinyl record on the phonograph, and Ma would begin to sing. At the height of the song, she would emerge to cheers and applause from her audience. Ma continued to gain popularity and was soon one of the first Black blues artists signed to Paramount Records. She was the first well-known entertainer to include authentic blues songs in her repertoire. Her songs Trust No Man, CC Rider, and Moonshine Blues became mainstream hits. She earned the nickname Mother of the Blues. Paramount also marketed her as the Songbird of the South, the Gold-Neck Woman of the Blues, and the Paramount Wildcat. Ma Rainey lived in Chicago for most of the 1920s, and she sang at house parties and performed concerts while still recording for Paramount. She performed with her group, Madam Rainey's Jazz Hounds. She recorded under the name Ma Rainey and her Georgia Jazz Band, with many famous musicians including Willie Smith and Louis Armstrong. Between 1923 and 1928, she recorded almost 100 records. Ma was known to be a savvy businesswoman, and she wore a money belt underneath her costumes. She was also known to be generous with money with her friends and family. Her last session for Paramount Records in 1928 was the end of her contract with the record company, because the record executives believed that her style of the blues was no longer popular. Ma Rainey officially quit show business in 1935. She returned to Columbus, Georgia to invest in and run several entertainment venues. She also devoted her time to church and volunteer work. She bought a 2-story shotgun house on 5th Avenue where she lived for less than 5 years. Ma Rainey died of heart disease on December 22, 1939. She is buried in the Porterdale Cemetery in Columbus, Georgia. Ma Rainey never publicly came out as bisexual, although her attraction to both men and women is apparent in her songs. One of her biggest hits, Prove It On Me Blues, was the first recorded song to celebrate queer sexuality. Paramount Records' ad for the song depicts Ma in a three-piece suit flirting with two women while a policeman watches. Singer Bessie Smith, who would later be nicknamed the Empress of the Blues, got her start as a backup singer for Ma's band in 1912, and it was rumored that they had a sexual relationship. Ma was also known to have had relationships with her female dancers. When Ma was arrested in 1925 for hosting and participating in an all-female orgy at her home, Bessie Smith bailed her out of jail. Ma Rainey is considered to be an LGBTQ pioneer. Her music was revived in the 1960s during the Black Arts Movement. She is credited with inspiring famous singers Dinah Washington and Janis Joplin. In 1984, playwright August Wilson's play, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, debuted on Broadway. It won the New York Drama Critics Award for Best Play and was nominated for the Tony Award for Best Play. The play took its name from Ma's 1927 hit, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which refers to a dance trend of the time. A film version starring Viola Davis premiered in 2020, and the actress was nominated for the Best Actress Academy Award. Both Viola Davis and her co-star Chadwick Boseman won the lead acting awards at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, making them the first black actors to win the top awards in the same year. Ma Rainey was inducted into the Blues Foundation's Hall of Fame in 1983, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1990, the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in 1992, and Georgia Women of Achievement in 1993. She was honored on a commemorative U.S. postal stamp in 1994. In 2004, her hit single, CC Rider, was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. In 2007, the Ma Rainey House and Blues Museum opened in Columbus, in the house on Fifth Avenue. The museum exhibits depict Ma's life and career and also the history of the blues traditions of the region. The Rainey McCullers School of the Arts in Columbus, named after Columbus natives Ma Rainey and author Carson McCullers, opened in 2017. It's a public school for the fine arts where students in grades 6 through 12 study art, dance, theater, music, film, and creative writing. To know more about Ma Rainey and her musical legacy, go to our website, gwinnettpl.org, to check out the following suggested items. A History of Women's Achievement in America, number 2. Queer There and Everywhere, 23 People Who Changed the World, and Rainbow Revolutionaries, 50 LGBTQ+ people who made history, both by Sarah Prager. Visit our website's digital resources to learn more about Ma Rainey's life and career and her influence on the music industry. Biography and Context, Digital Library of Georgia, Encyclopedia Britannica Online, and New Georgia Encyclopedia all have extensive information about Ma Rainey. Also, visit our website's digital resources to discover Canopy, our streaming service. Currently, there are 2 documentaries featuring Ma Rainey: Wild Women Don't Have the Blues, and Tain't Nobody's Business, Queer Blues Divas of the 1920s. Thank you for watching.